3D Movie Time Capsule
for 2021.
Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Hello. This is Adolf, and I have with me Classic Jake.
Howdy, folks.
And Jacob.
Hi, everybody.
And it's that time of year again where we crack open the time capsule to see what was there. And we're recording this on January 9th, 2022. And today we're talking about the 2021 movies, the 2021 3D Movie Time Capsule. So, all about 2021, last year, and you know, a little bit over last week. So, overall, first of all, how did you feel about 2021?
Better than 2020.
Yeah?
I feel like it was season 2 of 2020, so we had the sophomore slump.
Yeah, better, but we're definitely, it feels like we're stuck in the mud, and we're barely coming out. And I think most of us thought that we'll be out of this mud, of this pandemic already, and we haven't been. And, obviously, it's a worldwide pandemic, and variants travel quickly, so, multiple variants have kept this pandemic alive and going and hurting a lot of people, and it's just, it's part of the reason why President Biden has been giving out vaccines to other parts of the world to try to hopefully contain these variants, but it's been slow going, and I know, we probably should do more, but can only do so much. I guess we'll start this with a classy way, or a sad way, and give a moment of silence for all those who've passed, all the 3D movie fans, all of those people, whether they're nice or not, who've passed because of COVID. So let's give a couple second moment of silence. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of statistics for y'all, and a whole bunch of information and everything. So, regarding 3D movies specifically, Classic Jake, what are your thoughts on overall as a whole thing? What do you think?
Well, I would say that 3D's really taken a serious hit since 2020.
Jacob?
I mean, compared to 2020, things have improved for 2021, but it's still taken a hit since like 2019.
Yes. So, comparatively speaking, we have a box office, and we have movies that are open to the public in America. That mileage definitely varies depending where you live. I think some parts of the country might have some regional lockdowns, but it's nothing major national.
Yeah, and then there's parts of the world that are locked down.
Yeah, definitely. So there's some places that haven't had the luxury of going to the movies, of having that escape, and it's been rough. And we definitely have more than like 2 movies than 2020.
Yeah.
So we have more. So here's some stats. So on the website, we officially reviewed 15 total 3D movies.
Not bad.
Do you think it was less or more?
I mean, compared to 2020, way more.
Yeah.
All right. Of these 15 movies, how many movies do you think were original or new properties?
Oh, geez. 2? 3, maybe?
All right, Jake?
Maybe 1.
6.
Wow.
6.
So, this is the 6 that I'm counting. Raya and the Last Dragon, not based on any property that I know of beforehand. I'm going to count Jungle Cruise, because there was no Jungle Cruise movie before this. Yes, it was a theme park ride, but there was no movie or TV show or comic based on this. So that's original.
But I would still count it as an adaptation, because it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's based on a pre-existing intellectual property.
But it's a new franchise. We haven't had that before, so I'm gonna count it as new. But you don't.
Okay. Okay.
Free Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about Free Guy.
Now, this is another one that could be up to debate. Dune. We have had a previous Dune, but having this version of Dune, this is based on a book, but it's not like a sequel or remake. It's kind of a remake, but sort of. It's kind of gray area. I'll count it. Ron Gone Wrong.
Okay.
And Encanto.
Yeah.
So, hey, people always complain about not enough new properties or original properties or fresh stuff, and we definitely got some fresh stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so I actually averaged out the scores and have the highest scores and the lowest scores. Classic Jake, what do you think was our highest scores? Do you remember?
I would say Shang-Chi.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd concur with that.
Shang-Chi and Jungle Cruise were the two highest, and both of those got 10s.
Mm.
What do you think were the lowest, Jacob?
Oh, jeez. If I remember correctly, maybe Raya? I can't remember exactly.
Well, you reviewed two of them.
Oh, God, what is it? I can't remember the other one.
You want to give you a minute?
No, you're good.
All right. Boss Baby 2, Family Business, got a 6 out of 10. Ron Gone Wrong got a 6 out of 10.
Okay, yeah.
And Sing 2 got a 6 out of 10.
Ah.
Now, it's kind of hard to debate which one is the worst because I don't think any one of us have seen all three, right?
Right.
I have not seen Wrong Gone Wrong or Boss Baby 2. Now, you've seen Boss Baby 2 and Wrong Gone Wrong, but not Sing 2, right?
Right.
And Classic Jake, you haven't seen any of them.
Yep, I managed to dodge all of those.
Now, a 6 out of 10 ain't bad.
No, it's above average.
So, hey, that's for the low point of the year. That's pretty good,
Well,
Yeah.
if you changed it to number grades, it'd be an F. Letter grades, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, we don't have any 1s or 4s or anything. Terrible.
No.
Yeah.
Now, we all have seen the 2 10s. So what do you guys think? Jungle Cruise and Shang-Chi. Which one is the better of those two movies?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah.
I'm still going to go for my Jungle Cruise. Damn it, I loved it.
Yeah.
I actually saw Shang-Chi again, and I still enjoyed it. Probably not as much because I watched it at home and 2D, but I just have a happy feeling about Jungle Cruise. I don't know if that's gonna hold up watching it again, but I'm just still happy about it months later. So, do you guys want to guess the average score? Averaging all 15 movies we reviewed, what was the average movie score number? Classic Jake?
Probably 7.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. 7.
All right. It was 7.8.
Not bad.
So that's pretty close to being a great year. For we do 8 as great. So, hey, that's pretty damn good, I think.
Yeah.
And this year, or 2021, we had no weak 3D reviews in any of our movies.
No.
All of them were at least good, and there were some that were editor's choice great. Do you guys remember which ones are those? Editor's choice?
Boss Baby 2, I remember, and Shang-Chi.
Yeah. So, Jacob, since you've watched both of them, which one had the better 3D of those two that we reviewed?
Oh, God. I mean, I'm still going to have to say Boss Baby 2. It was just so wild and colorful, but Shang-Chi is really close.
And since I don't know if Universal is ever going to have a 3D Blu-ray, I don't know if any one of us, or me and Classic Jake, will ever watch Boss Baby 2 in 3D. So,
I mean, I got it coming in later this month if you want to borrow it.
oh, is it actually coming out on 3D Blu-ray?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Never mind. Then shut my mouth.
I might get around to actually getting it, but I've got a whole list of things already to get.
Mm-hmm.
I always look at the Blu-rays and hope that they quote us. They never have, but I think that would be fun just to see. And they're like, oh my God, people actually, read the reviews and actually, use it for marketing. That would be awesome for us,
Yeah.
I do wonder, because I remember hearing that they don't need to get permission to do that. So if they already did, that's kind of like, and I don't know about it. Well, I should know about it. It's my website, but they have, I guess, I'm giving verbal okay if they want to, but you cannot edit the thing to be different. It has to reflect what it is. You can't say, Jacob gives Boss Baby a 10 out of 10. No, that's not what he gave it.
Yeah.
But if you want to quote the review and say it's great 3D, hey, you could definitely, that's game.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think I'm going to ever watch Boss Baby 2. I'm sorry.
It's not that bad.
All right. Who do you think reviewed the most movies?
Probably you.
Classic Jake?
Sometimes I feel like it was me.
It was you!
Yay.
Yay.
So, Classic Jake, you reviewed 6 of the movies. I reviewed 5, and New Jake, you reviewed 4.
Nice.
Now, I think that's a pretty decent mix of everything. I feel like some of the movies, we reviewed just because availability and scheduling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, New Jake, you kind of saved us in 4 movies because I didn't have Boss Baby 2 next to me, or Raya, or Wrong Gone Wrong, so you gave us opportunity there.
Yeah, no problem.
So,
and theaters here were shut down for a long time, part of 2020 and part of 2021.
all right. Do you guys remember what the first 3D movie that we reviewed was in 2021?
I want to say Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the last?
Spider-Man. Or Sing 2, sorry.
Sing 2. So that's the stats. I hope you guys enjoyed those interesting stats. 7.8 average, I think, is really good. And overall, no bad 3D. The ones that we reviewed. And 15 movies is, not terrible, but not great either. But hey, It's better than 2.
Yeah, it averages out to more than 1 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought the stats would be really interesting. Now we're going to go through each one and feel like, do we still think about what we thought about then that we do think about now? Like, do we still feel the same ways? So first up, Raya and the Last Dragon. Have you seen it again? I guess another question. Classic Jake, have you seen it again?
Nope.
Jacob?
I have not.
So, I think I don't feel, because I haven't seen it again, I don't feel like we were too hard on it or anything. I still feel like it's a 7 out of 10. Not bad. Good, very good movie.
Yeah, it's okay. It's adequate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it got the job done. It was passable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And if a 3D home release comes out somewhere in the world, I might eventually pick it up, but I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. I don't know, just going to the grocery store or something, seeing little kids walking around. You would usually see like backpacks or t-shirts they wear. And, I never saw anyone wearing a Raya Last Dragon backpack or t-shirt or anything. So I don't know how much of a pop culture phenomenon it has or hasn't been. But I don't think it was as big as Disney would have liked it to be.
No, I mean, Encanto's made more money than Raya.
Yeah.
So some of these movies we're going to talk about today, we haven't had a chance to talk about together. So it's kind of fun. So Raya, yeah, I feel like it's not bad. I think it's a very good movie. I don't know if there's going to be a sequel. I don't think so.
No. Maybe a TV show.
Maybe. All right. Next up, Godzilla vs. Kong. I gave it a 7. I don't know if I would still give it that, but I still really enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So I haven't seen it again since. Have y'all seen it again or no?
Bits and pieces on HBO Max. It's quite good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I caught it again on HBO Max.
So do you guys still pretty feel good about it or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's just dumb popcorn fun.
Yeah, it's a Godzilla movie. I mean, my favorite one of the series is Skull Island, which doesn't even have Godzilla in it.
Yeah, definitely agree to that one. I felt like the other Godzilla movies are fairly weaker. But it ain't bad, and it was actually fun and good fights between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could actually see him.
Hmm. I think the most frustrating part about this series is that Toho put their new Godzilla on hold because they licensed it to Warner's, or Legendary actually, and the Warner's is distributing. And Shin Godzilla was probably the best one since the first one, and it was a whole new concept, and it was amazing. And we're not getting that continuation, and we're just getting this, and it's just not nearly as good as Shin Godzilla.
But it pays the bills, you know.
Yeah.
And Godzilla vs. Kong was considered the first hit. The people were actually like, "Hey, I want to see this movie in theaters," and it gave a lot of hope to people. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and my theater violated social distancing rules to sell more tickets, so I was freaking out. I just knew I was going to get the COVID. Even masked up and dousing myself with UV and covering myself in hand sanitizer.
and
I didn't get COVID.
And, that was the first time I was attempting to watch it wearing a mask and then getting the glasses, fogged up multiple times. It was kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, people feel good about Godzilla versus Kong, now that's been a while. And I think most people are pretty happy with it, with how much money it weighed and how it actually went down. And this is the one Warner Brothers movie that they're actually really happy about money-wise, or pretty decently happy about,
Yeah, I'd say that and Dune, both legendary productions, ironically enough.
Yeah. So you'd think Warner Brothers would have treated Legendary better.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the new owners are. Yeah, Discovery.
All right, the next movie, only Jacob has watched, Boss Baby 2, Family Business. Do you still feel like it was a 6, or do you think it's maybe warmed up to it? I don't know.
I still think it's a 6. The 3D is still really good. It's one of the few 3D movies I bought digitally and just skimmed through the 3D again. It's still as good as ever.
I was really close to watching it, but time just was not in my favor when it came out, and I was surprised how much I actually kind of did like the first one.
Same.
It's just a weird movie, though.
Yeah, it is very strange, and the concept is out there, but the 3D is really fun, especially on the second movie.
So yeah, Boss Baby 2. So this next one, I feel like a lot of people crap on, and I don't get it. I don't know why a lot of people seem not to like it at all, but I think it is a great movie, and I enjoyed it. And I've watched it twice in the theaters, and I still enjoyed it. So I don't get the hate for Black Widow.
It's good. It's just, it should have came out like 10 years ago. But there's also a lot of misogyny out there, so that's probably why it's getting crapped on.
And Classic Jake, the 3D was really great in Black Widow, right?
Yeah, I liked Black Widow a lot. I don't understand the hate for it. Well, actually, I do, because a lot of people don't like ScarJo for various reasons. Do I agree with her on everything? No. But like a lot of people, they call her a racist because she played an anime character. They called her a transphobe because she was going to play a trans character, and when she walked away from the project because of all the social media backlash, the whole project collapsed. I mean, so thanks. I mean, I'm sure the trans community would have rather had this movie made than just buried. About the trans man, she was good. But I understand, well, it's problematic because first of all, the character they're claiming's trans never said they were trans in their lifetime. So, and I don't know if you should go back and label people things that of concepts that didn't exist in their lifetime. I mean, yeah, people changed genders and stuff, but they didn't have the language, and they probably never articulated it.
And Black Widow, going back to the Black Widow movie, Scarlett sues Disney because it got a digital release and a theatrical release, and the box office was lower because of that, and it was really pirated. So she won that case. So
yeah, or at least settled and are still working with Disney.
Yeah,
I consider that a win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of
More
fanboys were screaming mad because she's giving Marvel a black eye, blah 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 blah. And I'm going, no, she isn't. She wouldn't sue. She didn't sue Marvel. She sued Disney, for Christ's sake. And Feige isn't who did this. He didn't have. First of all, he doesn't have the power to do that. I mean, that was Bob Chapek and Alan Horn and those guys. I mean,
Now I do agree with Jacob that it is too late. I feel like it should have been 10 years ago. You're right, and it should have been before. But I definitely like that Florence Pugh or as Yana Pugh. I think she's fantastic as new Black Widow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really, enjoyed David Harbour as Alexei and, the whole thing with the Russian. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's just, it was a little overlong, and the villain it was pretty much Russian Harvey Weinstein if he had a flying palace.
Yeah.
I do think Marvel was kind of hyping it up a little bit and be like, oh, it's a big thing. Everything's going to, you think differently about Marvel. And it's like, no. I mean, the story was basically what I was expecting it to be, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. So,
I don't hate Black Widow. A lot of people seem to not like it at all or think it's a sub-tier Marvel movie. I definitely enjoyed the 3D aspect of it. That was the first movie I actually had to complain to the manager that 3D wasn't working right. Because I went to the showing and they're like, oh yeah, it didn't work. We'll just give you a ticket, and we watched the whole movie in 2D. And then I had to watch it again in 3D using the ticket. So, yay. I thought movie theaters were going to be back in 2021, and I wouldn't have to deal with this because they took the time to fix things. No.
Yeah. It sounds like typical theater BS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oblivious to the fact that they're on their last legs.
Yeah.
I mean, not every movie could be Spider-Man No Way Home.
No.
So, yeah, I really was upset, and I was like, I didn't cuss anyone out or anything, and I did remember that we did have a friend of the podcast there, which I didn't know. It was actually kind of weird because I don't remember his name, and I'm sorry, but someone actually recognized the podcast and recognized the website, and I sat next to him watching the movie, and I was like, hey, and it was actually really cool to actually have that connection on somebody. So,
yeah.
That was cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
of course, if it happened to if either of the Jakes, they would probably be a restraining order put out.
So
probably.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting the memories you remember from a year ago. And I'm sorry I don't remember the name. I mean, I'm sorry. It's a lot of things have happened since then. But I do remember someone did. It's like, oh yeah, I go to your website all the time. It's like, oh, awesome, cool. So,
you know who you are. You remember it. That's all that matters.
Hopefully, you're listening to this still.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Bring your friends.
So let's keep going here. Now, Jungle Cruise, which we had a little while between Black Widow and Jungle Cruise. I just was so happy when this movie ended, and I had the biggest grin on my face, and I loved the 3D of Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, but the movie itself was pretty decent. Just,
it's fun.
I thought it was decent. I thought it was good. I just didn't really think of it as really a movie. I felt like it was a video game. The thing is, it wasn't bad. I just didn't think of it as cinema. But it's a hell of an adventure.
Yeah, it's a nice amusement park ride.
Mm-hmm. And there's actually it's entertaining. It's interesting. It's got enough unpredictability to it you're not going to watch this in 5 minutes know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Which is something that's typical of these types of experiences in the movies theater.
Yeah.
Now, this just reminded me a lot of the quote-unquote old-fashioned serials. It reminds me of Star Wars, New Hope. Reminds me of Indiana Jones. It reminds me of Sky Captain, of movies of a different era that were just so much fun. But this one was of this era and of not of this era at the same time, and it bridged that gap. And like they were actually respectful to different cultures, and it was not offensive in any way, and it had some really interesting twists. And I mean, I just love Rock. Dwayne Johnson is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and him and Emily Blunt had chemistry, and Jesse Plemons was really good as the villain.
Yeah.
I just feel so good. I just was so happy when the movie ended, and I feel happy about that movie. Now, I'm so sad that I could probably never see it in 3D again because they never released it in Blu-ray, right?
Right. Not even digital, and it sucks. It's so good.
It's on Disney Plus, but
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, there's 4K.
4K is not 3D.
No.
and the box office was actually kind of bad for it. Like it didn't do anywhere as good as I was thinking, or Disney was probably thinking about it. So Jungle Cruise made worldwide $220 million, and that's just not as much as they were thinking. You know, if it was normal times, maybe it would have made that opening weekend.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, because we have a lot of movies to talk about, so we can't dwell on any one of them. If you do want more, you know, there's a whole podcast feed. You go download and listen to the individual reviews and the spoiler cast if we made any. Now, this next movie, we weren't sure it was a 3D movie for a long time, and then we got word right before it came out, and it got us super excited. And I actually really enjoyed it. Free Guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A surprise on many levels.
I mean, you know, the cameos are fun, but it was a really fun, interesting idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a glorified hit. It made $300 million worldwide, which, you know, doesn't seem that much more than Jungle Cruise, but this is an original property, you know, and it's a video game based movie, and it was really hot when it came out. So, yeah, I'm still pretty hot about it. Now, I saw it twice in theaters. I enjoyed it twice. I don't know if I want to watch it again or on the Blu-ray, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the 3D was just weak.
Yeah, even as weak as it is, I'd still pick it up on home video release in 3D if it ever got one.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I'm looking to Germany and hoping it's not just Japan.
Yeah.
And it's in this weird segment of cinema where it's a movie about a video game that is actually great, but like actual video game movies aren't great. You know, that genre.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Video game adjacent, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kong Fistful of Quarters is another one. 8-Bit Christmas is a more recent one. You know, you have those movies that are just like about, not really about video games, but sort of, and it's just a lot of fun. And
Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Jumanji is a great example, actually.
Yes.
Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's that weird kind of adjacent, you know, it doesn't make any sense to why those work, but actual video game movies have been weak, I guess, compared to those. So.
I mean, they've gotten better with Detective Pikachu and Sonic, so I mean,
yeah,
it only goes uphill from here.
Yeah, and Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, the next movie, I think was a big surprise for all of us because I don't think any one of us were, or I guess, Classic Jake, you were hyped for this, but I wasn't like, okay, I'll watch it, you know, but I still really, really enjoy it. Shang-Chi's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a surprise of the year.
Yeah. I stand by my 10.
And the 3D, 3D is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's actually available on 3D Blu-ray, just plus $80.
Yeah. I'm about to bite the bullet and take the hit because I don't think I can live much longer without a copy of it.
Yeah, I know. I need to get it, and then also Eternals is coming out too. Uh,
I don't know if I'll buy Internals.
I mean, I'll get it because the 3D was pretty decent.
But yeah, the 3D was great. The only issue, I still, rewatching it recently, I felt like the main character was still a little bit bland, but I still really like the movie. So
Yeah. I mean, he's okay. I mean, this is like his first big role. That's probably why he felt uninspired or whatever, like just kind of stiff.
Simu Liu, I think his name
Yes.
is. And it's surprising that this movie never got a Chinese release, or not yet, I guess, right?
Right.
And they were afraid of it being offensive to them with Fu Manchu, and this is a love letter to China, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and Chinese people have been asking why. I mean, first of all, Tony Leung Chiu-wei would have never played Fu Manchu.
Never.
Never. No matter how much money they threw at him.
I think it's mainly because, like, during the marketing, I think it was because it was Mongolian letters versus Chinese. I think that's one of the big reasons why it's not in China.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think it's a lot of the Fu Manchu thing, and I mean the original
Right.
comic did have that, but obviously if they watched the movie, they would know it's not part of the movie. So it's not. I know the history's there, but they could change things in the movie that's not in the comic. So
I mean, or maybe China just hates Aquafina. Who knows?
Yeah, or maybe they don't like Kim's convenience.
yeah. I mean that politics is probably some of it there too. So unfortunately, but it did prove that hey, you could have a Asian hit because people were worried about is Asian going to be able to Asian Marvel movie going to be able to make a big hit, and $400 million says yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was pretty hot for a couple of weeks. It stayed number one for like a month almost, I think. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like September was Shang-Chi month.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's definitely going to be a new Avenger. So we're going to see more of him. He definitely is going to be part of this extended universe, or new set, not extended universe, but the new set of, new phase of Marvel, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Aquafina, hey, I always kind of like her, but she was really great here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, annoying and Raya, really good here.
Mm-hmm.
She fit this one like a glove.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she
Yeah.
actually had a character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you guys want to see more Aquafina on fire, really on fire, she did a little movie called The Funeral. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I thought it was called The Favorite.
Oh, okay, because it's the one where she's the family, they think grandma's dying,
Yeah,
so they're all getting together. It's hysterical.
yeah.
Well, I remember watching that movie, and I didn't think it was hysterical, but I thought it was really well done, really well acted.
I know she won a Golden Globe for that movie.
Mm-hmm. Not that the Golden Globes are much of a thing, but hey,
No, I mean not anymore.
well, they haven't been in a long time. Golden Globes are this thing. If you win one, it's congratulations, and if you
Yeah.
lost it, it's no. And if you lose one, it's no big deal. Or if
Yeah.
you fail to get nominated, it's kind of like congratulations, you dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
No, she was in the farewell, but maybe you were thinking of Crazy Rich Asians. I thought that was very
No,
funny.
it's the farewell. The
Okay.
farewell.
Yeah. One of those
I knew,
F movies.
I knew it began with an F. I mean, I know this is saying, but hey, with the way things are going, you're lucky if I can remember anything.
Mm.
And her show is weird, but I like it. And Nora from
Nora
Queens.
from Queens. That's a pretty funny show.
So yeah, I she definitely is becoming super hot. I mean, I like Ocean's 8. That was actually really good, but better than I was thinking it was going to be.
I liked her in Jumanji 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So big fans of Aquafina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thing that she became popular because she was talking about vagina, and like now she's like a big star, and it's like damn, that's that trajectory I was not expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still controversy with her, though, but that's for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. This is I got Venom after this movie. I didn't get him in the first movie. I got it here. I still liked it. I don't think it's a great movie like Classic Jake does, but I still enjoyed it.
No, I mean, if you think of it as a love story or a rom-com, it works better than a comic book movie.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely a bromance.
Yes.
And it definitely is just kind of a guilty pleasure kind of movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's too short. The movie is too short.
Yeah. This is what Sharknado and tried to be. All those really cheaply made, deliberately bad movies. This one kind of cracked the code. It knew what it was. It doubled down on what worked in the first movie and kind of ditched what didn't.
And that wig, thank God.
Yeah, and we lost the Sideshow Bob wig.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson. He was fun in this. I like him.
Yeah.
And we were expecting big things from Venom, but that didn't come out to be, which is even funnier that it didn't happen.
Yeah, spoilers. So,
I mean, not really a spoiler, but kind of, sort of. I don't know. It's kind of spoiler adjacent, I guess. Adjacent's the word of the year for me. So this is a movie that we haven't had a chance to talk about. I reviewed it, and then I think I went to vacation right after. No Time to Die. I still love the hell out of this movie.
One of my favorites of the year.
I still think it was an hour too long.
Yeah, it was long.
I mean, fair, and the villain was kind of weak.
Yeah.
It was too dependent.
But the 3D was so good.
Yeah, the 3D was really great. And it was too dependent on Quantum of Solace, and it's just like, okay, be your own movie already. You know?
Yeah.
So it was basically 2 Bond movies in one. But I still really enjoyed it.
I mean, after 6 years without a Bond film, I was just happy to have it, and it's still a good movie with a daring ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that 3D, I was so happy when that gun barrel was in 3D, and like, oh my God, yes!
And the title sequence was excellent, and it was just a good presentation. I want it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Well, who do we yell at? Amazon? Is it Jeff Bezos?
I mean, Universal here in the States, so...
Yeah. Hey, Universal.
3D, please.
Where's our 3D Blu-ray?
Oh, and that was the first movie I went to this year. I think the only one where I was the only person in the theater.
Yeah, my friend and I were the only one in theaters when we went.
Which is sad, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. Luckily, the film was sort of a hit, but it's also lost money, so you don't know.
It made $700 million worldwide. That's a hit.
Yeah, but the budget was huge, and they kept marketing up every time they changed it. That gets expensive.
Yeah.
Hey, 700 is still really fantastic for a Bond movie. So
yeah. I mean, true.
Yeah, I gave it a 9, and yeah, it's too long. Yeah, it's too dependent on other movies because a lot of the story is just like, okay, guys, stop talking about the last movies. Let's get to the one because the last movie was bad. The Quantum of Solace was bad. No, it was not.
Spectre was bad.
Spectre and Quantum of Solace were bad, and this movie is like dependent on those other movies. And it's like,
I mean, I'd rather watch Quantum again because at least it was quick compared to Spectre.
So I definitely want to see new James Bond and that be 3D, definitely.
Yes, and with 3D Blu-ray, please. Thank you.
So definitely love No Time to Die. All right, next up is Dune. Now, I was really worried this movie was going to bomb, and it did pretty good for itself.
Yeah.
You guys still feel good about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they say they're making a sequel, so that's good.
I mean, my first initial impression was it's overbaked and overlong, but then when I reflected on it, it just got better in my mind. It's not great, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, originally, New Jake, if I remember correctly in the podcast, you said that you give it a 6. Do you think you might maybe go higher now? Or no?
Yeah, I'm going towards almost an 8. Just thinking about it, like 2 whole points, because it's just very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I still haven't had a chance to see it. It's like I watch it on HBO Max. I don't have time, and I just never had time. So it's like, okay, well, sorry.
It comes out on Tuesday on Blu-ray, so
yeah. I mean, I have HBO Max, so I watch it that way. But yeah,
fair.
It's gotten good money. Good people like it. and definitely a sequel is coming. So
Oscar buzz.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was seriously worried it's going to be just like Blade Runner 2049, where great movie, but no one liked it. No one went to the theaters for it.
Yeah.
How was the 3D on it? I don't remember it being you guys saying that was that good, right?
It was good, but there's no 3D pop out really. Just some dust here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Or sand or spice, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but one of the things I thought was amazing about it is I thought a lot of this stuff was CG, and they just said it was really good CG. But no, they used a lot of miniatures, and the reason they don't read as miniatures is because they actually used miniature sand.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which is really interesting to read about. Like the whole movie, like the behind the scenes was really interesting too, because they shot it on digital, transferred it to film, then retransferred the film to digital to give it a look.
Huh?
Yeah, really unique.
Yeah. Didn't he do all of his movies? He does stuff like this.
Yeah,
that might be the reason why the 3D was weak, because of all those transfers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Possibly. But I mean, the depth was amazing. The pop out just wasn't there.
Okay, so feeling better about Dune after some time. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, Jacob, you're the only one that reviewed this and watched it. So how has Ron's Gone Wrong?
It is perfectly fine.
Now, this came and went in the theaters like in a month. It was like, damn, that was quick.
Yeah, like it didn't do too well, and nobody talks about it. I see toys on the clearance rack at Target all the time. Nobody cares. It was a cute movie.
It made $60 million worldwide. That's pathetic.
Yeah, like I don't know what the budget was, but yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the holdovers from Fox and Disney. Just like, all right, let's dump this and move on, and not really.
I mean, the animation is fantastic. It's a new studio, and they did really well. It's just the story it went a little weird.
Okay. I think it's now on Disney Plus, so you can watch it now. Not in 3D though, but yeah.
No, it's kind of a shame. The 3D was pretty good. Probably one of the best parts about the movie.
All right, next one is a controversial one again. Now, a lot of people hate this movie too. I think it's fine. I like it. I don't hate. I'm not mad that I watched it in the theaters. It's just different, and it's the Eternals. I think it's a good movie.
I don't know.
How has time felt with the Eternals, Classic Jake?
I'd probably give it a 7. Now,
I still think a 6 is good.
It's fine, but I think part of I went high with my review is because same reason I did with Wonder Woman 1984. It was a knee-jerk reaction to other knee-jerk reactions. But thinking about it, yeah, I'd give it a 7 now.
Well, you gave it a 7 then, so I guess you had to change that much.
Okay. I thought I gave it an 8.
So
I guess I haven't really changed my mind. I thought it was pretty good, but not great.
I mean, if you still feel like it's a 7, then I feel like it's sustained itself over the time. Mm-hmm. It's a weird movie, I'll give it that, but I think it's a beautifully shot, and I won't be mad if it doesn't get a sequel. I'll be kind of disappointed that some characters don't get stuff, but it's okay.
I mean, some won't because they're dead.
Yeah.
Well, a rumor is we're getting instead of a sequel, they're going to let Chloe Zhao do a director's cut.
Ah, interesting.
Very interesting.
A lot of people are thinking that's a backdoor way to get it into China, but I doubt it. I don't think China's going to let this movie in.
Well, I mean, they had to do some creative edits with a character, Brian Tyree Henry's character. So
mm-hmm.
And that was a beautiful love story. I'm sorry. I thought it was really well handled, and I thought it was a genuine kiss, and it didn't bother me any, and I don't think anyone in the theater got mad and walked out or anything. But
no.
It's just the movie just wasn't that great. It was like Marvel's answer what if we made a DC movie and not great.
Without fight scenes.
Without fight scenes, a great cinematography. Who knew?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you got something there, Jacob. That it feels like a DC movie that was done by Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the more I think about it, the more I think this is a DC film.
Yeah, it's a contemplative. It's a contemplative to action.
Yeah.
And I gotta give Kumali Najili. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. He was
Kumail
great.
Nanjiani.
He was great in this. Great.
Yeah, but then they did him kind of dirty in the third act, and it just I hated it.
Yeah, when he's like, "Bye."
Yeah.
And the man got ripped, and he didn't go shirtless once.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I mean, come
Seamless,
on.
yes.
Yeah, we saw more. We saw more of his workout on Twitter than we ever did in the movie.
Yeah.
I still want to see that movie that was hopefully actually shot, but probably not. That his assistant did.
Yes.
Maybe that's be a Blu-ray extra.
Yeah, really. Yeah, and while you're adding movies, why don't we get to see Rogers the musical?
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about.
I still need to see Hawkeye, but I know what you're talking about. I understood that reference.
Yeah.
Well, it's also there's the billboards in Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's all connected, except for Eternals.
That's why I mentioned it. I wouldn't have if it had just been in Hawkeye.
But I mean, Eternals is a weird thing that it's all connected, but like it really feels like an island unto itself. Where
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were a big part of human culture, but no one knew about them saving the world, and no one helped them, and
it felt like a retcon.
Yeah.
And I guess nobody in New York cared about what happened because no one said anything about it, and it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, like nobody took answer to the thing in the Indian Ocean. Like, there's a celestial there.
Yeah, no one's wondering why this giant hand is in the ocean.
Yeah, I figured J. Jonah Jameson would have been all over that.
Right?
Yeah, it's like, or like what happened in London. It's like, a bus turned to leaves.
Yeah.
What happened there?
What the hell happened there? It's just another day in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Who knows what happens?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. Encanto. I love this movie. I wish the 3D was better, but I really loved it.
The music was so good.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Lin-Manuel, he's on fire.
I think this will be his Oscar year. I think it is.
Yeah. It's either he's either going to probably get it for this or and he's probably going to get him some awards for Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah. Maybe was Vivo out this year?
Yeah. Well, on Netflix.
Maybe Vivo. Well, I mean, he didn't do anything except Boys, and I think right.
No, I definitely think the Encanto songs are way better than the Vivo songs. So
I haven't even seen Vivo. It looks generic.
Yeah, I feel bad for Lord and Miller because Mitchell vs. the Machines. Normally, I mean, I'm rooting for that, but I don't think it has a shot in hell against Encanto.
Yeah,
and it made some money, but like Disney kind of cut it at its knees, put it on Disney Plus on Christmas, and like basically having a month and change out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I was really excited to watch this with my mom. My mom was like, "Oh, on Christmas we're gonna watch Encanto together." It's like, okay, we can, and it's go on Disney Plus. You don't have to go to the theater. That's wonderful. I can watch it at home, and then I could put it in Spanish for you, Mom. And she's like, "Okay, cool. It's put in Spanish." And we watched it in Spanish, and she wouldn't sit down and watch it. She was like, "Oh, let me do dishes. Let me do this. Let me do that." And it's like, Mom, and she, like, halfway through, I'll watch the rest of it tomorrow. And which she's like, I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. And it's like, she didn't even get to, like, halfway of the movie. And she was just, sometimes, I don't know if your parents are like that, but, they can't just sit down and watch a movie. They have to do multitask and do other things that aren't needed. And it just bugged the hell out of me. And it's just like, come on, Mom.
It's Christmas.
The fantastic movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like the songs were really great, but like I don't remember any of them. Maybe the only one that I really remember is the one with I forget the brother that was hidden away.
Bruno.
That's the only one that I really
we don't
remember.
Talk about Bruno. You also have the Pressure song. You have that little Spanish number. talking about when they escaped to find Encanto. It was pretty good.
Yeah, very
Good stuff.
emotional.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
A rare movie without a villain at all.
Sorta.
Yeah.
The abuela, kind of sort of the villain there, but yeah, it's spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler.
Kinda.
Yeah, because
kinda.
Layla didn't realize that the girl she had was her replacement.
Yeah, and my mom was like, "This abuela is just a bitch." It's like,
Yeah.
Mom, finish the movie, you'll understand. But she didn't want to finish the movie. She was like, "Oh my god."
She just didn't want to see a movie about a mom being a bitch.
So I don't know, but I still really love it. Original property, and I really loved Encanto, and it's it's gorgeous too. It's so pretty.
So lush.
This is the kind of, I said this in my review, and I definitely agree. At least watching it 1.5 times or 1.3 times, that this is a movie that you want to show off your 4K HDR big screen to.
Yes.
Look at how HDR is. Look at that. I feel like the 3D, it was good, very good, but it could have been better.
But the 4K would be really, really good.
Oh yeah,
if not great.
You want an OLED on that baby?
I know. I wish I had OLED.
All right. Now we already talked about this a lot, but Spider-Man, I saw again. In 2D, unfortunately, but I mean it's fine. I didn't love the 3D aspect of it, but I still love this movie, and I still watching it a second time. I'm still giving it a 10 out of 10 for me. I still love it.
I don't get the major love for it. It's a good movie, but it's not a great Spider-Man movie. It's not Homecoming or Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, this isn't compared to Into the Spider-Verse, this was a disappointment.
Yeah.
But I still like this movie a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I feel it's kind of underbaked in parts.
I probably would have given this a 10 if Into the Spider-Verse hadn't come out. If that movie didn't exist, I probably would have went so apeshit just over the fact that they're all together, and I hadn't seen a multiverse Spider-Man movie done awesomely. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is still a great movie. Well, 8 great.
Yeah.
But it's well worth your time. It's well worth seeing in 3D. It's well worth masking up and covering yourself in hand sanitizer to go see this.
Yeah. I mean, people are still going to go see it. It's still number 1 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and it's the first official $1 billion movie in the pandemic.
It might get to 2 without China.
Yeah, this will be like the first one to get there without China.
I mean, it's at 1.5 as of today. 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Watching it a second time, I still cried. And I still loved it, and it made everything I wanted in a Spider-Man movie I got. And I still love Into the Spider-Verse. I could give 2 10s, man. I'm liberal with my 10s, I guess, sometimes. So I still loved it so much, and I felt like it was a great Valentine again to Spider-Man fans. And
I remember because I drew the short straw to review Into the Spider-Verse because none of us wanted to do it at the time on the podcast, because we just knew it was Sony and their track record. And I remember when I sent my review, you kept asking me, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is the best Spider-Man movie ever made."
Into the Spider-Verse had the element of surprise. No Way Home didn't, because everything that was predicted pretty much happened.
Yeah, but I also feel like I was satisfied, and where the hype was so high for No Way Home. I was satisfied, so I'm very happy with that. So
I predict a backlash is going to happen with this movie at some point.
Yep, I mean that's one of the things I've said. I said this movie when you are going to feel like a 10. But it's not, and it's gonna be just like episode 1 all over again. Except I don't think it's gonna fall as hard because this is a much better movie. than Episode 1.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
like
franchise.
how come the other villains didn't get enough screen time and whatnot? It's because they weren't as popular. Yeah, just
All right.
stuff like that.
All right, let's go to the last one, which y'all didn't see, right? I was the only one that saw this.
Not yet.
Sing 2, and the 3D was good, very good. Like, it was on the verge of being great, but it was just one of those things that I was just like, come on, guys, you could push it a little further. But like, the actual songs that they do was actually really well done, and it's all very cliche, but it's basically what you expect it to be. The trailers did show 85% of the movie. The other 15% is not that much, but the big show at the end was fantastic, and that's like, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad. I still give it a 6. I still feel good about it. But, I mean, it wasn't horrible. It was a fine movie for what it was. My mom was like, I like that Sing 2. She wanted to spend time with me. So it was like, okay, we'll see the Sing 2. And I was like, all right, fine. Did you care if I watched it in 3D? Because I want to review this. And I didn't mention that. And she's like, I don't care if you watch it in 4D. I just want to spend time with you. And it's like, okay, fine.
Aww.
And we're trying to do a double feature with Encanto. And so she liked Sing 2, but she did not like Encanto. And it's like, oh... You're breaking my heart, Mom. You're breaking my heart. But
was Sing 2 better than the first one?
No.
No. I haven't even seen the first one because it looks bad.
The first one, like you said, the Spider-Man, it had the element of surprise where it looked really bad, and it was like, oh, this is actually kind of nice. Has a good heart to it. And, back then, it was me and James, and James gave it a 7, and I eventually watched it, and I was like, I agree. And I kind of feel like that one maybe still holds up, and it's a 7, and this is still a 6. It's not terrible, If you want something for the kids to watch, and it's not offensive, it's not deep. Sometimes you just want something basic, and this is what it is.
Yeah, if you got kids that aren't cinema buffs, it's probably perfect for them.
I mean, it is the highest-grossing animated film since the pandemic.
So it's fine. It's not horrible or anything.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the movies we did review. Let's do a recap of what are we thoughts. What is your favorite movie of the year? Classic check.
Is this 3D or
3D?
3D would be Shang-Chi.
All right, what's the best?
3D.
Or just best 3D. We're still on 3D
best
right now.
3D.
Yeah.
Okay, be Shang-Chi.
All right, worst movie of 3D.
I didn't see any bad ones in 3D.
Okay. I guess from your was Raya, I guess, the worst one for you, maybe?
Probably, but I wouldn't call it a bad movie.
Yeah. Most disappointing 3D movie of 2021.
Ironically, I would say Dune because I wanted the 3D to pop out more, but it's still a great movie.
All right, Jacob, what was your favorite movie?
Shang-Chi.
What is the best movie?
Oh, God. I would say a 3-way tie. Well, okay, I'll just say Shang-Chi or Jungle Cruise, maybe. Like for 3D.
All right, worst?
I didn't see any bad 3D movies.
All right.
No bad.
Of the ones you reviewed, which one did you like least? Ron or Boss Baby?
I'm going to have to go with Ron's Gone Wrong, probably.
Or Eternals.
It's kind of generic. I'd rather watch Eternals, probably, because it's more interesting.
And most disappointing?
Dune or Spider-Man No Way Home.
All right. For me, my favorite, it's going to be interesting because I actually have different here. My favorite was Jungle Cruise. But the best, I feel like, I'm still hot on Spider-Man. Still hot on. The worst, Sing 2. Most disappointing, I guess, I don't know. It feels like what is disappointing, I guess that maybe disappointing is that the theaters weren't like 100%. Like I had to complain multiple times to get things going, and it's like, come on, guys. I had to complain for Black Widow. I had to complain about Encanto, it's just like, come on, guys, come on. So, I guess the most disappointing movie maybe is Raya. I thinking that maybe that's better. That should have been better than it was, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna keep going through these questions. What 2D movie should have been released in 3D but wasn't? Classic Jake?
There were a lot this year. I would have loved to have seen Annette or the Sparks Brothers in 3D. The Green Knight probably would have been really awesome in 3D.
All right.
Ben Wheatley's Into the Earth, I think that's the name of it, which I didn't get to see because we were our theaters were shut down. I wanted to, but everybody I know who saw it said they wish it was in 3D. It was just dying for it.
All right, Jacob, which 2D movie should have released in 3D but wasn't?
I kind of got a three-way tie with this one. Mortal Kombat, the Suicide Squad, and I don't know if The King's Man was ever released 3D worldwide, but here it was 2D, so I would say The King's Man.
Okay. I think...
Yeah, Suicide Squad's a good choice, and so is The King's... Yeah, those are all good choices.
Yeah, I think it's a Chinese 3D exclusive or something. I guess I guess for me it probably would be. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. Matrix movies could look great in 3D. I actually rewatched 2 and 3 and 1, and I feel like all of them could benefit from being in 3D. And it's sad that this one didn't. So, all right, are you worried about the future of 3D from 2021? Classic Jake.
Yeah. A lot of stuff we're going to find out if Avatar 2 comes out. I think that's going to decide the fate of cinematic 3D for quite a while. If it bombs, that's it. It's done. If it succeeds, if it does well, it'll keep limping. But if it's a hit, it'll come back in force.
Jacob?
I'm actually more optimistic about that, especially with all the new tech announcements from CES this year. Especially with the PSVR 2. So I'm pretty optimistic about it.
All right, I'm very pessimistic. I agree with Classic Jake that it really is dependent on Avatar 2 being a hit, and it's just going to be limping by because I have a whole list, which we're going to get to in a minute, of movies that should have been in 3D, that usually would have been in 3D, that we thought were 3D, and it didn't happen. And it's just a huge list now. So it just seems like more and more movies are just going streaming only, and more movies, they don't care. So it's just not putting the effort in, and 15 movies is good, but I feel like it should be more. So I'm worried. What was the biggest news story of 2021 regarding 3D? Classic Jake?
I would say the PlayStation VR.
Okay. Jacob?
I'd also say the PSVR, but also what you said about so many films being announced for 3D and not being released in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the biggest news story for me was just like, I don't know, just that so many movies just dropped it, and that should have had it or just didn't try. And there's a vault, so there's a parallel dimension with all of these like 20 movies that should have been in 3D but didn't. So I guess the biggest news is that it's just so many movies are going to streaming only that it's just they don't care anymore. And 3D Blu-rays have been super hard to get for almost years now, so it's just it's just so hard. And yeah, all right. Now, not 3D related. What's the biggest news story of 2021? Classic Jake.
January 6th.
All right, Jacob.
January 6th.
Yeah, I'll do the hat trick. January 6th. I mean, the pandemic still being around is a huge thing, but the more you look at January 6th, the worse it is. And that was a human thing. It wasn't a virus thing. It was us. And not us. Like, I didn't do that shit. But we didn't storm the Capitol. But, it was a humanity. It was, us as Americans, I guess. All of us are Americans. And it's disgusting to see such a thing. So
yeah. And I can't believe the lies. I saw this on my television set. I was gobsmacked. I couldn't believe it. I just really couldn't believe they would be that stupid and idiotic. And then I remember And I go, yeah, why am I surprised? And then almost the day after, they start the gaslighting. But it was Antifa. And I'm like going, yeah, Antifa was marching around with Confederate flags and Trump 2020 signs. Yeah.
All right. Jacob, you have anything to add or no?
I mean, I was just gonna say it's still happening with the gaslighting, because I was reading a story about Tucker Carlson interviewing Ted Cruz, and Tucker Carlson's like, I don't believe you that they were terrorists, and Ted Cruz is like, I was there.
Yeah.
Even though Ted Cruz was backpedaling.
Yeah, he got crucified.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, here in Texas, the winter storm, being pretty big news, and apparently the news reports were saying that it was like 5-10 minutes away, and if they didn't do anything that last minute, the power grid would have been completely destroyed forever. Texas, which is just like, I can't imagine that being that close to being that bad, but it was pretty bad.
Texas was very self-sufficient, or at least wants to think they are.
Yeah.
I guess what pop culture news will be 2020? What will be remembered for?
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
Betty White passing.
Betty White. Yeah. Thick twist of irony there.
Yeah, she just said, "Nope, I'm not doing 2022. You're on your own."
Last day.
Inflation and the supply chain.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, "Oh, I remember how hard it was to get this thing or that thing."
Yeah.
And
but toilet paper was readily available, unlike 2020.
I know it's really small potatoes, but I have a story about supply chain. I usually get grocery food, cat food, and we get, my wife works there, get a discount, and it's pretty cheap to buy the cans. And it was becoming really hard to get more than like a week's worth or 2 weeks worth. And, we would have to keep going and keep checking it. And they'll just be empty. And eventually we just had to change brands altogether to be a more name brand cat food, because there was no other option. And I could get a huge amount of that cat food online, so it just, I know it's really small compared to the whole world and everything else, but that's a real world example where my cats are eating different food now than they were last year, because I don't have an option to give them that food because it's so limited. And inflation is always, people are like, oh, it's all because of Biden. No, it would have happened anyway. And the same thing with the whole thing with the supply chain, that would have happened anyway. That was happening then before,
Yeah. It was. Yeah. Don't you remember under Trump? I was having to teach people how to make their own toilet paper online.
I mean, wasn't the president doesn't control, cargo ship that gets, it gets in the middle of the canal that stops there. He's the president of the United States, not president of all capitalism in the earth.
I mean, yeah, he's not controlling the LA ports. He's not doing none of that. He can't control the oil prices.
Yeah. All right. What's your favorite 2D movie of 2021? 2D only.
Who are you talking to?
Classic Jake.
Okay. A tie. Pig. Nicolas Cage's best movie in years, except Mandy. And Annette, the Sparks Leo Carrick's movie.
All right, Jacob. Favorite 2021 2D only movie?
God, I haven't seen a whole lot of 2D movies this year. So I guess based off the ones I've seen, I'd probably have to say either Cruella or Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Okay. For me, my favorite is the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And best overall 2D movie, only Classic Jake.
I would be a tie again, Annette and Pig.
All right, Jacob.
I guess I'm just going to say Zack Snyder's Justice League was really good.
Now, this movie just came out like 2 weeks ago, but it's technically 2021. It came out. Don't Look Up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard it's good.
Yeah, it's a wonderful satire, and it's like just one notch next to satire. Like, we're pretty much there, and people don't want to
Yeah,
realize that we're there, but we're almost there. And it's so funny and engrossing, and man, I really am hot on Don't Look Up.
yeah. You seen Squid Game?
No, I haven't.
If you liked Don't Look Up, you'll probably love Squid Game.
But that's a TV show, though.
Yeah.
It's not a movie.
Yeah.
All right. Worst 2D only movie. Classic Jake.
That's a simple one. House of Gucci.
Oh.
I haven't even seen that one yet.
Oh, you've got to. It is a train wreck.
I will.
Jared Leto. You would swear to God that is Ron Jeremy.
It does look like him.
I mean, I joked that was Ron Jeremy in a PG-13 movie. Even though this was an R movie, but it felt like a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob, your worst movie?
This one's also quite easy for me. Snake Eyes.
Okay. It's just badly shot, right?
Not just badly shot. Everything about it is pretty bad.
All right. My worst movie, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I hated this movie. Hated it with a passion. I put this on for the patrons. A lot of these movie reviews, if you're wondering, are on Patreon because they're not 3D directly related. But I gave this piece of shit a 1 out of 10. I hated it.
I think I gave Snake Eyes a 4, and I kind of put it too highly.
Maybe I hated it too much, but I really hated it. I actually went to the damn theater, paid money to see it in theater, and I hated Resident Evil so much. It's just so poorly acted and so poorly designed. They have too many characters that obviously they're going to survive. They're the big characters from the game. So what's the drama there? And then all the characters talk so badly. It's so poorly written. They just like introduce each other. Hi, my name is Jill Valentine. Hi, George Valentine. It's like, shut up. That's not how people talk.
So are you going to buy it on Blu-ray?
No. All right. Most disappointing 2D only movie of 2021. Castle Jake.
Let me think. Most disappointing 2D movie. This year I managed to dodge a lot of bullets. And the only one that bit me was House of Gucci. So I guess I'm going to say House of Gucci mainly because that one tempted me enough to be dumb enough to actually sit in a theater and risk getting COVID to see some of the worst racial stereotypes of Italians I've ever seen in my life.
All right. Jacob, your most disappointing 2D movie?
Halloween Kills. So disappointing. So bad.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up, because I dodged that bullet.
Yeah. Evil dies tonight.
So does cinema.
Yeah. I felt like it watching it.
For me, the Tomorrow War on. Oh my god, I hated this too. It's just so bad. It just drags on, and it's just I don't like these characters. I don't care if they die, and the time travel doesn't make any sense, and it's just a stupid action movie, and it felt like it was 3 hours long.
Aren't you glad it wasn't released in cinemas though?
Yeah. Oh, I guess.
I mean, we yeah. Go ahead.
Do you have a surprise movie, 2D only movie that you really liked in 2021?
I mean, I'm gonna say Zack Snyder's Justice League was surprisingly good.
All right.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League and Annette. I mean, I thought I would like it because I do like Leo's Karos and I like Sparks. I didn't think it would be that good, and I didn't think Adam Driver would be such a powerhouse singer, even though he doesn't have a great voice. Who would think Adam Driver would star in a musical?
I never even heard of this movie.
It only played 100 theaters in the U.S.
Mm.
And it's now streaming on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
All right, Jacob, your most surprising good movie? 2D only?
Zack Snyder's Justice League, probably.
Okay.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, I really, for 4 hours, damn, I love that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched it in one sitting. I couldn't believe it.
same.
Worth the hype. I was just like not expecting that.
Yeah. Oh, and another, I should mention this one. I can't believe it slipped my mind. Nightmare Alley.
Okay.
I didn't think there was any way that could surpass the original because it's just such a noir classic. I remember watching this in the theater. On the way to the movie, I had picked up a muffin from Panera, and I sat there literally holding it in my right hand for 2.5 hours, and I didn't take a bite of it. I was so engrossed in the movie. I just sat there and then I'm like, the movie's over, and I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten. I was so engrossed.
For me, most surprising was Rumble. I saw it on Paramount Plus for the hell of it, just for the patrons to have something to talk about, and I was like, crap, this is pretty damn great. It's so much fun. World Wrestling Federation made this, and they know how to make a spectacle, and it was self-aware, and it was really well done. Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. And I saw a 3D trailer of it. Seems like a million years ago, and it deserved a 3D release.
Yeah.
And it was going to be a 2019, and then it just kept moving around the dates, and Paramount just gave up and be like, all right, then whatever.
Yeah.
And just put it on Paramount Plus, and they just announced it, and boom, it was there. So whatever. Let's talk about what our patrons thought. I asked the patrons some of these questions, and they said, Mr. Bengal 5 said favorite movie was Free Guy. Favorite 2D movie that should have been released in 3D, Matrix 4. Not worried about 3D. Like you said before, Classic Jake, it's probably a cycle, and popularity is going through the cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest news was PlayStation VR 2 announced. And favorite 2D movie was The French Dispatch. Never heard of that one.
Yeah, Wes Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't play here. Yeah, I didn't go see it because I didn't feel like going 100 miles.
All right, our other patron, Kano 3D, said best Shang-Chi and favorite Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Worst, he didn't like Dune.
Interesting.
Most disappointing, he didn't like Spider-Man because it said because it start with excellent 3D but then gets really plain. So I guess that 3D, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Matrix Resurrections is a big disappointment not being in 3D. He had high hopes. It had the original was it could be remastered in 3D, but no. He's somewhat worried about 3D. No 3D Blu-rays. The Pro Ma King tablet is interesting to him. That was kind of announced, like a tablet that's 3D, glasses free. Politicians and media manipulating science and medical data to impose more restrictions, not according to the situation and what the science says. It's hard to, different parts of the world have different things going on with lockdowns, and I don't know if they really would be happy with the American style. Everything's open, and different states, different counties, different cities have different rules. I kind of would like to have a little more uniform like Europe, but I get it. It says Dr. Peacock making a French core music with the orchestrated instruments and chorus voices was something that was really interesting to him. Favorite was Historia's Lamentables. I don't know what that is.
Something that didn't get a U.S. release.
Yeah. Best was Matrix, mainly because I didn't watch any other 2D movies. Worst was Resident Evil. Didn't watch. It just looked really amateur. Thing you record, on yourself. Most disappointing was Matrix, again, for not being in 3D. And just being a weird action movie, and it's just kind of a funny joke than actual sequel. And you also said favorite 3D moments were Black Widow and Shang-Chi and 4DX 3D. The last scenes were both really intense visually and impact in other scenes. I still remember the sensations. I also remember Eternals beginning where the dragon gets out of the sea, eats the father. It was really nice in 3D. So what 3D moments do you guys really remember from 2021?
Oh, the bus fight in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I also remember the boat, like the beginning boat ride in Jungle Cruise when that snake is coming right at you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, No Time to Die with the opening, and then that whole opening too with the what they have the musical, not the musical, but the song being played by Billie Eilish, and that it was gorgeous visuals there. That was a 3D moment I didn't forget. Now, classic Jake. Now you say that this was happening to your theater, but other people on YouTube have said that their 3D was fine. So maybe that situation with Venom 2, where the 3D was turned on for a scene. Maybe you remember that really well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just kind of how overall Shang-Chi. There's so many times where oh no, specific moment Shang-Chi was that scene where they're fighting on outside of the building, and you just see the depth there, and it was just it made the scene so much scarier. On the bamboo.
They had to, because they build construction stuff they use bamboo scaffolds, and that was amazing too. I mean, Shang-Chi had some very amazing. Then there was all the stuff with the dragon later. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I really liked how Godzilla and Kong, they looked like actual creatures in 3D, because they're actual, models. So that, just how they were fighting, was like, oh, this actually works really well, and you can see it. So there's definitely some moments. Was there some moments in Boss Baby 2 that you really love, Jacob?
Oh God, probably the whole sequence with the ninja babies was really good, but I don't know, the whole movie is just really good 3D.
In Sing 2, it's in the trailer where like this lizard lady is like driving, and she goes to talk to the lion character first. And that whole sequence there, she goes into like a jungle, and it's really great depth, and everything's working. And then there's like traps, that are, she has it's like actually kind of a scary scene, because, there's like just all these traps trying to get her, and she survives all of them, because they're trying to, the lion doesn't want to be contacted, so he puts up all these traps, and just that whole sequence with like paint guns, and it was getting shot out, and I was like, holy crap, this scene is awesome. That scene was really, really good. It was just great in 3D, and it really made it worth it. I mean, there's other parts here and there where they had, some stuff, but that was the best scene in this thing too that I remember really well. So there's like the scene with the lizard lady. I forget her name. But yeah, that was really good 3D moments. It's always good to try to remember 3D moments that were in the movies, that you can't just all be good or great. There's definitely moments. And I love how Shang-Chi had all the, things popping out with the different weapons and stuff. All right. So we have a list here that there are 2D movies, 2021 movies, that should have been 3D. That here's a list, and we go through them really quickly. These movies, under normal circumstances, they're superhero movies, they're kids movies, they're animated movies. These would be 3D movies because they're right in that genre, and these did not get released in 3D, at least in America. The first one, we thought we were going to be in 3D, and it was like really early on in January, and we were excited. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's even posters with the 3D logo, and it didn't end up happening.
That movie was kind of crappy too, though.
Yeah, it was okay.
It wasn't great, but it's like, whatever. Tom and Jerry, which sucks, but kids kind of animated movies would work well in 3D. I thought I remember seeing trailers for this in 3D too, but I don't remember. Space Jam: New Legacy. This was supposed to be a big movie for Warner Brothers, and if this was a regular time, this would have been 3D, but it didn't get a 3D release, and it bombed badly.
Yeah, for good reason.
For good reason, but still, normal circumstances, you would think this would be a 3D movie, Luca, which is from Pixar, usually almost every Pixar animated movie from Disney gets 3D released, and Luca did not, and I think it would look great. Now, this movie was kind of a surprise for me because I actually kind of liked it. Spongebob, Sponge on the Run. The last movie got great 3D, and this just got onto Paramount Plus and dumped on there and didn't have a 3D release.
Yeah, the trailers were really good in 3D too when I see them.
Well, it got a Canadian release, but the border was shut, so I didn't even have that option. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if I would have driven the 8+ hours.
SpongeBob wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically what you think it is, but it was fun. I actually kind of liked it. Now, we mentioned this already. Now, originally, the original cut was 3D, and I think that the Snyder cut would look great in 3D.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if they want to put that up, that was a huge hit for HBO Max and Warner Brothers. And I really loved Snyder Cut. I was not thinking this was going to exist, and two, it wouldn't be that different. Oh boy, it's way different and way better than the original cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could just imagine that last sequence with the Flash looking awesome in 3D.
Oh, I think it would have looked marvelous, but I figured because how expensive a conversion is, and they probably didn't since they didn't shoot it in 3D and they didn't have it converted, that was probably the decision they made to make this affordable to put on streaming, where you can't see in 3D. Because now it's just a pity they didn't convert it all and then give it a theatrical release in 3D. That would have been awesome. But I feel blessed to get what we got.
Yeah,
same. But I mean, like a 4-hour movie in 3D though, that'd be
exhausting,
but also not as many showings. It wouldn't be it'd be awesome, but it wouldn't be as many showings per cinema.
Yeah, and we'd all have eye strain for a week.
Yeah, and we'd have to go use the bathroom. It's like we need an intermission.
Yeah. Well, it did have an intermission though, didn't it? I think so.
I don't know if it did or not. I think it was split up into parts.
Okay.
Yeah, chapters.
Chapters, yeah.
Hey, if Warner Brothers wants to release that theatrically, definitely give that a 3D conversion because that would look great.
Yep.
All right, Mitchell versus the Machines. This used to be called Connected. I thought it was a great movie. I really, really enjoyed it until Netflix. And, kids' animated movies like this would great. There's a lot of flying stuff. It would look great in 3D. And anyone else watch this movie?
Not yet.
I've seen parts of it enough that it's the dark horse in the Academy race for which one it and Encanto are the kind of the odds-on favorite who's going to get best animated feature, but it's probably going to be Encanto.
I mean, animated movies like this definitely would be 3D in normal times and not get a theatrical release, but nope.
Yeah.
Now this one, Disney has kind of been really all over the place with the live action remakes and sequels, and some movies are 3D, some aren't. But Cruella, I actually really like Cruella. It surprised me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of dark, so I don't think it would have worked. But I could see how Disney could have released this in 3D, released Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast. Did you guys like Cruella?
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
Emma Stone, I think, rocked it. Now, none of us have watched this, but I mean, we just assumed this might have been a 3D movie because usually animated movies, Spirit Untamed didn't get a 3D release, kind of bombed at the box office, and they actually got a theatrical release and nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wahlberg movie Infinite, again, got dumped on Paramount Plus. That's a really intense action movie. That sucks. But, that kind of movie would have been 3D and gotten theatrical release and gotten 3D release in normal times.
Mm-hmm.
Have you any of y'all saw Infinite or no?
No.
Mm-mm.
Now, F9 got a 3D release in some parts of the world, but not in America. So I think that, why not give it to America? Give us the Blu-ray. I don't know. Have you guys seen F9 or no?
Not
Nope.
yet.
I've only seen one Fast and Furious movie, Hobbs and Shaw.
The Tomorrow War, again, it's got dumped on Amazon, and it's a terrible movie. I really, really hate it. Chris Pratt is so miscast in this, and it's just so long of a movie, and this kind of action would be great for 3D. But nope.
Yeah. Well, these days, unless there's a dinosaur or a talking tree, and if Chris Pratt's in it, I take a hard pass.
Yeah. Sorry, you're not going to watch the Mario movie this year then?
Only if it's 3D.
I mean, it's Illumination, so it's a safe bet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna probably get stuck seeing it along with the Minions movie.
Ugh.
Now, Jacob, you actually watched this movie, and you said that you wouldn't watch this in 3D. Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. Usually that would be a 3D movie, but you're actually glad it didn't come out in 3D, right?
Yeah, the cinematography was just so jittery, and it was just so bad. It would have made you have a seizure or something.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Next up, the R-rated The Suicide Squad. I think, for the most part, there's some dark... It would have looked great in 3D.
Especially that scene with the blood and flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and all the Starro stuff would have been awesome.
Yeah, and Starro stuff.
On Twitter, I think the director said that Warner Brothers asked them, and they're like, no, we're not going to have it for 3D. So, I mean, it was sad how much of a flop it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't that good of a movie either, I feel, so it's
I dig that.
Maybe for the best. Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that R-rated, comic book movies are still kind of rare, and, if it's not Deadpool, it's really hard to get a big traction.
Yeah. Like the first two Kingsmen were popular, but then the Kingsman hasn't been.
Yeah. Well, part of it's on those, it's the name, because I know several people who skipped the Suicide Squad because they thought it was the first movie re-released because of COVID.
Mm.
They thought it was a re-release because they were re-releasing movies because of COVID. So I know we pay a lot more attention to stuff than the average person. So
yeah.
And I said, no, it's actually a whole brand new movie. And they were like, oh, it's not in theaters anymore. And I said, yeah, but it's on it's streaming, so have at it. You can see it on Warner's HBO Max. So
now this next one is a kids animated movie, Paw Patrol. Now this might be not a 3D movie because usually when it's really aimed to small little ones, they kind of skip to 3D, but most animated movies are 3D, so this probably would have gotten a 3D release in normal times.
Yeah.
None of us have seen this, right?
Nope. I've never seen anything with Paw Patrol. I need to dodge that bullet.
The Cinderella remake that got on Amazon Prime, that usually would be like a 3D movie. I think weren't the last ones 3D or no?
No.
But other storybook kind of movies like this would be 3D, so it makes sense.
I mean, Maleficent was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it might have.
All right. Next up, the Addams Family 2, which sucks. The first one is 3D. Classic Jake, you reviewed the first one, and you dodged a bullet for the second one. I watched it and reviewed it.
Yeah, I had enough. Yeah, I might have quit if you made me review that. Or I would have lied and said I had COVID.
I mean, I took one for the team and watched that, and gave it to our patrons. I watched a lot of crap and I watched for the patrons. Resident Evil, I watched for the patrons. Infinite, I watched for the patrons. SpongeBob, I watched for the patrons. Tom and Jerry, Space Jam. I did all these crappy movies for the patrons on Patreon. I do it for y'all, But yeah, Addams Family, I saw it in theaters. It sucked. It was bad.
Yeah. Hey, I saw House of Gucci, and for the patrons, I didn't talk about it. I spared you even that.
I saw Snake Eyes.
Ooh. Yeah, I think you win. I think you took the worst bullet.
I actually think Addams Family 2 is worse than the first one.
Yeah, the first one wasn't great.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
The 3D was there. It was okay for the first movie, but
just had no story worth anything.
Yeah, it's just the 3D was lackluster too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cliche, a road trip movie, and you guys didn't know about this. There's a whole subplot. A major part of the plot actually is Wednesday not being a real Addams, and that was actually like a big part of the story. And it's like, look, they look just like the mom. I'm sorry, it's yeah, and of course, Adam, that works. It's not like Marianne or something. No, what was that one from the Munsters that looked very different than the rest of them?
Marilyn.
Yeah, Marilyn. Okay, obviously that's adopted. I mean, how do you get that combination with a vampire and a Frankenstein monster, mix? I could see that, but Wednesday, come on, it's just so stupid and bad.
And the whole vacation plot line also seems lazy and uninspired.
Yeah, I was so mad when they drove by San Antonio and they had they actually had tumbleweeds. It's like, come on! I've been to San Antonio multiple times. I've driven by there. Never see tumbleweeds. Come on.
The Alamo's there. Come on. There's Whataburgers everywhere, I assume.
Yeah. But still, there's no tumbleweeds there.
The Whataburgers will catch the tumbleweeds.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
And then if they won't catch them, the Dairy Queens will.
There's so many cliches in Addams too. Yeah. Clifford, the big red dog. It was actually surprising it's got a theatrical release at all. But usually,
it even got made. I thought John Ritter's passing, there'd be zero interest in Clifford.
Yeah,
this got the books are popular.
Yeah, a Paramount Plus and theatrical release, and it did decently for itself. And these kinds of kids movies usually get 3D releases, but not this one.
Yeah.
I heard that's actually not that bad. So,
but the director just made so many bad films.
Yeah,
like Alvin and the Chipmunks 4, Wild Hogs, Old Dogs, all them stinkers.
Oh, ooh. Yeah, that's enough for me to stay away forever. Never give it a chance.
Now, this one is a big one. I was really thinking this was going to be a 3D movie. I was, because the 2016 trash movie was 3D, actually good 3D at that, from what I heard. But Ghostbusters Afterlife was not a 3D movie, and that should have been.
Yeah, it should have been.
I really like that movie. I kind of feel like that was actually pretty good for what it was, and better than I was expecting it to be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of those movies that should have been made 20, 25 years ago.
Jacob, have you seen this?
I have not.
It's actually pretty good. I really like it. People don't like it. You either really like it or you're like, eh. I think it's really good. And the first half is a little boring, but it's still really well done. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's just like after Ghostbusters 2016, I just kind of got burned.
Understandable.
And I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan in the first place. I think they're just okay for the most part. So I'm not all that nostalgic for it. So I don't know if I'll like Afterlife that much, but I'll give it a shot once it comes out.
Yeah. Afterlife makes a good Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
It's better sequel than Ghostbusters 2. I would rather have dental surgery without anesthesia than ever see again.
It's terrible.
I mean, I'm one of the few people who like Ghostbusters 2. I don't think it's terrible. It's just
It's
people
actually
like it.
2016 is even better than Ghostbusters 2, and I hate 2016.
Yeah.
Oh, 2016 is just bad. I'd rather watch Ghostbusters 2 again.
And as much as I like Ghostbusters, because I do like it, it doesn't hold a candle to Peter Jackson's The Frighteners.
Yeah, but two entirely different movies.
I know, but the thing is, it is sort of the same thing, same about ghosts and hunting them, and it's just on a whole other level. It's one of those things that, to me, really put Peter Jackson on the map for me as a serious director.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, I think, would have looked really good in 3D, too. Classic Jake, what do you think?
Oh, yeah, it should have been 3D. In fact, the way it was filmed, I think they were thinking it was going to be 3D.
Yeah. I'm sad this one really... This one, Sony has a great track record. Yeah, this had everything to be a good 3D movie, and no, it's sad. Now, next one, I mentioned this already, but Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City... That should have been a 3D movie because all of the Resident Evil movies were 3D basically. Before this one, and I mean, this would have worked. It'd been terrible in 3D because it's so darkly lit, and it's so many darkly, badly shot angles and camera angles. So yeah, usually this kind of movie, this kind of action video game movie, gets a 3D release and didn't get it. So, but yeah,
we should thank them because we dodged a bullet.
Yeah. It's I really, really hate this movie. It's so bad. It's so annoying to watch. Yeah.
So do you think
none of the Resident Evil's been good.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to get lucky and the next Minions movie isn't 3D?
Maybe.
No, it's pretty much confirmed. Just watch it be streaming on Peacock after all this time. It's been delayed for 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, I have seen every single live-action Resident Evil movie. I think this is the worst of all of them.
But none of them were really good, though.
I know, and I agree. They all were bad, but this is the worst third of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of surprising because Paul W. Anderson is a hack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to admit the ones with Mila are hilarious. They're laugh out loud in the most unintentional ways, and sometimes the 3D is pretty good.
Yeah,
they're dumb fun, and this wasn't even fun. It was just tedious to watch. It was bad. Next up, Rumble. Rumble, we thought we saw a trailer for it in 3D, and it
looked awesome, and it looked incredible.
The Kingsman. I mean, I thought it was 3D right before it released, and it didn't happen. So I don't know what happened there. The poster says it's 3D.
Yeah, there was a trailer. There was a 3D trailer, just like there was, Dark Fate. I mean, there's been so many movies. Hobbs and Shaw is another one they did to us dirty, but at least Hobbs and Shaw got a German 3D release.
Yeah.
And finally, Matrix Resurrections. Matrix movies would look great in 3D. I'm sorry. I don't know why Warner Brothers didn't do this, and it's just whatever. It's kind of a bomb. So I think the Matrix franchise might be dead for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie cost almost $200 million, and it looks like it does. It looks cheap.
That could be why they didn't do a conversion, because they've sunk so much money already.
Yeah.
And Wachowski's had a track record of having some 3D bombs.
It's just, I think the Wachowskis, I mean, I know it's only directed by Lana, but they're just a one and done. Like, they had a hit with The Matrix, and they should have been over, but they just keep trying to be a thing. They're not good.
Yeah, and actually, recently we watched all three of the Matrix movies before this, and the second one, Reloaded, wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was, but like Revolutions was pretty bad. They could have made them into one movie and cut out a lot of crap and made them actually be fun, and it was just so much philosophy for no reason, and I'm not super, I'll watch it on HBO Max, but I'm not going to go to theaters and watch Resurrections. No way. I mean, it's kind of a, 124 million. Yeah. And I don't know why Warner Brothers decided to release this right against Spider-Man. Why? Why did you think that was a smart idea?
Counter programming, maybe? I don't know.
Hey, with the cast, they should have swung for the fences and made a musical.
Yeah.
They had in that. They have some great singers.
So yeah, that's 23 movies that in normal times that probably would have been 3D everywhere in the world, but we didn't get any of these movies 3D. I think that's amazing. It would have doubled our amount of movies we had.
Yeah, your content. Yeah, you would have had more content.
I mean, half of these movies would probably look great in 3D, you know?
Yeah.
So it's sad that we have a huge list of movies that could have been, should have been, but didn't happen. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we'll close up the time capsule for 2021. Not a better year than 2020, but just kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any last words you guys want to say on 2021 and movies and culture and news and
Yeah, well, welcome to the third season of 2020. Good luck.
Yeah.
Omicron edition.
Yeah.
Dotsicron.
Yeah.
All right. With that, we're out of here. Hope you guys enjoy this super long time capsule podcast. Bye.
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 Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you, Kano3D, Mr. Bengal 5, and Kevin Winter for your financial support on Patreon.com. So that's going to be it for this podcast. Thanks for listening. You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Links are in the info box. If you want to send us listener mail, our email address is email3dortwo@gmail.com. Thank you for either listening or watching this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.